This video is brought to you by Atomic Wheels, your go-to source for premium fully forged rims for your electric vehicle. Enhance the style and range of your Tesla or Rivian today. Go to atomicwheels.com and use code TFLEV for 10% off your order.
This 2025 Cadillac Optiq is the new entry into Cadillac's EVs, and in this video we are going to show you everything that you need to know about this car. Now, this being an EV, of course, we're not going to find a combustion engine under the hood, but they have moved a lot of the car's components up toward the front of the vehicle, and power numbers on this are pretty solid. We've got 288 horsepower, 333 pound-feet of torque, and it's all running off an 89 kilowatt-hour battery. Now, you might be wondering about the 450E4 badge that's on the back of this car, and that 450 is for Newton meter, so another measure of the torque output on this vehicle, and the 4 clues you in to the fact that this car is standard all-wheel drive. Now let's talk about charging. Opening the charge panel here, you can see it's a powered unit and we have our CCS charger. Eventually this car will switch over to NACS, but at launch there will be an adapter available. And so far the information that we have for charging is round about 300 miles of estimated range. And Cadillac is saying as much as 70 miles in 10 minutes of fast charging. So some of those numbers will still be ironed out, and we'll get those exact details a little later on, but that's what we have so far. There are going to be just 4 different trim levels for this vehicle. There are both luxury and sport options, as well as luxury 2 and sport 2 options, and those are not going to affect the performance of the car as much as the styling of it. So these sport models, like the one that you see here, have gloss black around the bottom of the car, and that 2 gets you a few extra features that we'll check out on the inside. Around the back of the car, we have a couple unique styling elements. We've got this dual wing design that's on the back of the car that makes it pretty distinctive. And then one of my personal favorites is this layered glass design that they did on this rear quarter window. And that leads right into the tail lamp at the back of the car. So you see those same lines carried through. And we also have a 21-inch wheel down below that is an option on the Sport 2 trims. Around the front of this Cadillac Optiq, we also have a unique lighting animation that starts when you approach the car. It starts at the emblem, moves outward, and then the headlights come to life. Now, the lighting that we just saw on the exterior of the car is part of the 2 level of this trim, and you get a couple other things with that. You get ventilated front seats, you get heated rear outboard seats, and you get a heads-up display. And now that I'm sitting inside of the car, we can take a look at some of the unique things about it. On this particular model, this woven fabric that is, they say, from 100% recycled materials, and that same material is carried through the dash and even onto the door cards, so it's all throughout. They've also done quite a bit of unique lighting, so they say that this is laser etched. You can also change the color of this, and that's not only on the dash, it's also on your door cards. And then right in front of that lighting, you can see that there's AKG audio. This is a 19-speaker audio system running Dolby Atmos programming. There's going to be a pretty substantial audio system in this car. And then looking immediately in front of me, there is this Cadillac 33-inch 9K resolution screen that spans the width of the dash. And this is becoming more of a common thing in a lot of different vehicles. They're conjoining the screens that are immediately in front of the driver and to the side of the driver. And sometimes I have to say I do like to have a binnacle over my instrument cluster just to block it from shade. So hopefully when this car is actually out on the road and driving around, this screen is bright enough to overcome that lack of a binnacle. But it's still, at least in here, a very sharp looking screen. And then in front of me on the steering wheel, you can see this indication that yes, we do have Super Cruise on this car. Above us, we also have a large glass roof. Now, it's not an opening sunroof because it's one uninterrupted panel all the way to the back seats. And all of these Cadillac Optiqs are going to have this. So this is a standard feature on the car, but there is a shade if you want to close it. Also unique to this Cadillac, even though it is an Ultium platform vehicle, we have these physical buttons for our climate controls, and that is specific to this car. So sure, there is some sharing between different Ultium platform vehicles, but Cadillac has gone through and added a lot of things to this interior to make it feel like a Cadillac and not make it feel like a rebadged Chevy. In addition to hard buttons for the climate control, we also have this control panel for our large screen that's in front of us. And it's a pretty simple layout. We've got music, phone, navigation, a back button, a home button, dedicated volume roller, and we have this navigation wheel with the Cadillac crest in it, and it's got even that same colored lighting all the way around that navigation wheel that you see on some of the rest of the dash. Around the back seat of the Cadillac Optiq, well, I'm only 5'10", so I'm not the most difficult test of the rear seat room in this car, but my headroom it's okay for me. I think if I were Andre or Roman or one of the guys, I might start running out. But my leg room is good, sitting behind myself where I would have my seat set up, and back here we still get amenities. So like I mentioned, because this is a 2-level trim, we have heated outboard seats even here in the rear. We've got USB-Cs. We also have a standard style outlet, and we have vents back here, of course, for the rear seat passengers. Now, let's check out the trunk space. Like a lot of other Cadillac products, to open up the rear, you press on the Cadillac crest, and it is, of course, a powered liftgate. And then we get to see our cargo area. Pretty straightforward. One thing that they did say that they did is they made these pockets on the side sized for milk jugs. So if you want those things in the back and you want to make sure that they're not going to slide around as you drive, then that is what that's designed to do. You can also take this currently flat load floor and you can actually make it slightly lower so that you've got a little bit of a lip here and things won't come tumbling out. And of course you can also fold down the seats. It's not powered on this car, but one thing that I do think is pretty cool is that even all the way back here in the trunk where few people will ever see it, they still did one of these stainless steel AKG branded covers for the speakers. Underneath the cargo floor, we also have a little bit of extra storage, and we have this Cadillac branded bag for your charger. Cadillac says that the Optiq is going to start including destination around $54,000, and these cars are already starting to sell in China, but they will be coming to the US market next, so around this fall. Now again, there's still some numbers that we'll be waiting for to be ironed out completely. So as soon as we have those details, we'll make sure to report them as well. And for the rest of all our coverage, go to alltfl.com. That's all for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.